everyone. Welcome back to Tony Sports for another episode. This should be episode 4, I believe, of the Admiral Adventures, a playthrough series inspired by some of the team at Wolverine Studios, where myself and several other content creators that play this game as well will play through the exact same season with the exact same team, the same roster, the same schedule, the same everything, and we will compare results at the end. So, last time we spoke, episode 3, I believe it was, I may have sounded a bit crestfallen, a little disappointed with our early season production, and I was searching for answers. But well, look at what we got. Yeah, boys. We are 3-2. As you can see, I was very concerned, of course, going into this Auburn game. We were sitting 1-2. That was the last time I made a video. I mentioned not much was working on defense. Not much was working on offense. Things were working, but not the things that I had thought would work at the beginning of the year. So I really felt like my read on everything was totally wrong. Auburn, of course, we talked before the game. They had multiple really talented running backs, but they had in particular this guy, Gabriel Ponte, who was at the time averaging over 10 yards a carry. They also had this James Delgado guy, quite a good running back as well. And as you can see, we just destroyed them. So held them to 3 of 12 on third down. So our third down defensive playbook was working. We ran the ball quite a bit against Auburn. We see we were 22 of 27 through the air for 271 yards. For 200 yards. 22 of 27 for 200 yards passing, and 49 for 271 rushing. So we just completely dominated the clock, completely dominated the game. This is the type of team I envisioned us being at the beginning of the year. How did our defense play so well? Well, of course, I kind of sold out to try and stop the run on defense as far as the game plan goes. But we made a couple other adjustments too, which I'll go through because they've made a really big impact the last couple weeks here. So anyway, this was a big win. Of course, I was thinking about the prospects of starting, 1-3 and 0-1 in the SEC, and thinking like, oh, this season could get away from us in a hurry here, or 1-4 rather. I thought that was a possibility. So happy to come away with this one. As you can see, Michael Kitchen really continues to be our lead rusher, even though he's the second string on both inside and outside run packages. I'm just going to leave him there because for whatever reason, it is really working for him. And he is a good player. I'm not going to force him into like a workhorse role because right now it does seem to be working really well for him to be a complimentary back. But if, for instance, Guajardo, falls off a cliff later in the year, maybe we will switch Kitchen and Guajardo. But anyway, both of these guys had solid games. David Outlaw has just kind of morphed into a pretty steady, dependable inside power runner. He's not breaking games, but he's doing what I thought he would do when I looked at this player before the season. Just churn out yards, churn up the clock, help us stay ahead of the sticks. That's basically what he's doing. So, yeah. So that was the Auburn game. On defense, we had some progress made here. George Hauser had quite a good game. A tackle for loss, a sack, a forced fumble, a pass defense. So my Swiss Army knife kind of idea for him of splitting him between outside linebacker and then nickel in different, or dime back, I guess, in different formations is starting to pay off. You see he's accruing some cohesion as well. Valencia with another. Wait, is this? No, Valencia is the guy I switched from defensive tackle to defensive end. I'm going to be evaluating him because he obviously doesn't have gaudy numbers, but if that's a help or if we need to switch someone else. This guy, Frederick Parks, has come on strong the last couple games with, here against Auburn, a sack and 2 hurries. That's plenty good. He did get hurt in the last game against Georgia Tech, which we'll take a look at here next. But anyway, a lot of things starting to go well. Okay, then same thing. The next week we've got another home game against Georgia Tech. And as you can see, David Outlaw had 4 touchdowns. Carlos, in spite of having terrible morale, was defensive player of the game with 4 tackles, a sack, and an interception. However, in an ongoing disaster saga, I then tried to go and encourage him about having a good game, and I used my coach talk, and it sent his morale back to terrible. So we're going to have to ignore Carlos for now and just let him regain his morale naturally, because I can't help him, apparently. He doesn't like talking to me. He's a proud athlete. I wouldn't think this social type would be so impossible to talk to, but anyway, that's the only thing there. But as you can see, the defense playing much better. We did adjust our planning a little bit to go against Georgia Tech. I wanted to throw the ball more, but we got ahead, by, really, we just put the game away late. So we didn't actually end up throwing all that much, but just very efficient. I'm seeing a very efficient passing game, and I am seeing that pretty dominant run game. So I'm seeing what I thought we could be on offense, with the exception of the whole 2 tight end situation. I ended up taking a lot of the 2 tight end passing plays out. So I trimmed the offensive playbook down. I took end arounds out. I took this HB stretch left that we were running like 12 times for 1 yard every time out. So we're cleaning up some efficiencies on the offensive end. Let me show you what I've done, though, to kind of fix the defense, because that was obviously a massive problem through the first 4 or 5 games of the year, or 3 games of the year. If we go to our strategy here, so really all I did, and this is, maybe it's a little bit lazy, but I just did it. What I did was, I had 3 games worth of sample size, and we had been calling a mix of my defensive coordinator's preferred playbook and my passing downs playbook that I made for 3rd and 4th downs, just to kind of specialize on those downs. But all I did was I went to formation, okay, and I looked at the formations that my opponents averaged the fewest plays against, or fewest yards per play against. So I was looking at and I wanted a decent sample size too, but I was looking at basically 3-5 wide. I think it was like nickel and dime at the time. As you can see, it's changed a little bit, which is going to happen. And then all I did was I just literally went and Edwards zone defense copy. You see, I just took kind of the 3 or 4 formations that were actually working with the sample size we had, and I just threw all the plays from those formations into a playbook and called it good. That's literally all I did to fix this defense overnight. Now, it's not completely fixed. It's still not the strength of this team, but we are playing in more personnel packages that I think have our best players on the field, which is in line with what I thought at the beginning of the year when I took a look at the team. If you'll remember, I thought we got these 6, basically our 6 best secondary players, so we can get them all in the field at the same time. So we're making progress. Now we have a big challenge ahead of us here that I'll have to dive into against Alabama. Obviously, they are, let's see, are they undefeated? Yeah, they're undefeated. They're 3-0. They had a double bye to start the year, so I don't have as much info on them as I'd like to, but they're 3-0. They did have a tough game at Georgia State, but 3 road wins so far, and now we come to town. So this is going to be tough. Let's see. They are 33 points a game. Let's see. Looks like they have a solid passing attack. It's a little bit ahead of their rushing attack at this point in the year, and their rush defense better than their pass defense. So, we're going to have to pay attention to that. How's the quarterback look? Oh, he looks pretty darn good. Fierce competitor. Great arm. Elite intelligence. Great accuracy. Yeah, really good player. Let's see, what do we have? Running backs. I'm sure we have a couple good running backs. Yep. Okay. Wow. So we got a good quarterback, a couple nice running backs. Good receivers. Oh my lord. Okay. Okay, guys, so this is going to be a tough game. So we're going to take a look. I'll dive in here, try to take a look at what the most important thing to take away is going to be. It's probably going to be trying to take away that passing attack, although, man, those running backs could chew me up pretty easy too. So anyway, we'll take a look at that. On defense, let's see, we've got secondary. Okay. Got a lot of their best players in the secondary. These guys are not slouches, though. Look at this. 90 strength. Defensive tackle. 86 strength. Defensive tackle. Decent speed for a defensive tackle. So, 81 strength. 69 speed. Where's the other defensive end here? 82 strength. 80 speed. Oh, yeah. So, they have a lot of good players. We'll have to definitely use some of our analytical tools to see where a weakness is and see if we can exploit it. Also on the bright side, or well, I guess just checking in kind of on our recruiting situation, a couple more commits have come through, as you can see. Not the 5-star corner that we wanted yet, but he's still within reach, or we're still trying to compete for him. This is 2 weeks after the last update I gave. But we did collect a commitment from this guy, Rupert Stockton. I didn't feel like defensive end. I didn't write it down as one of the positions really of great need for this team. But, I do like this prospect quite a bit. 6'6", 260 plus, which is pretty good size for a defensive end in this game. Leadership, strength, speed, and intelligence. So he's strong. The game says he's strong. The game says he's fast and he's smart. And he has decent tangibles. So I can definitely work with that. This is probably a pretty good get, even though I didn't think at the beginning of the season I really needed more bodies at defensive end, but this might end up being a player we can really work with. And then we secured our kicker that we were trying to recruit as well. Don't know how great he's going to be, but clutch kicker, he had interest from the beginning of the year, so happy to get him on board as well. Let's take a real quick at where our board stands. Now, I actually have more players on the board now than I did a couple weeks ago. So, but I promise you guys, I'm keeping a little bit better track of it in my mind. It just doesn't look like that. So, we're still battling for the services of Daniel Ward. with Georgia, South Bend. I think Texas A&M has jumped on board now too. We may lose this guy, but the chance to secure a 5-star who was interested in us from the beginning is too good. I said it a couple weeks ago. My mind is made up. I'm going down with the ship on this guy. So I'm going to continue to put resources into recruiting him. And I don't know if I'm going to put maximum resources because we're already at quite a tab here, but we're going to continue to try to secure his services. If we scroll down here a little more, and I've been kind of redoing some of our scholarship offers each week. Close race here. I'm still not sure just how wild I am about this guy because I don't know, really how athletic he is because I don't see anything here. But we're still, hanging in there on him. This race is still really close for the tackle, even though he does project to be a little bit more of a pass blocker. That's what I really needed for tackles. I need 2 pass blocking tackles in this class if possible. So still continuing to battle Iowa for Valles here. And let's see some other ones. I kind of decided I liked this center best out of the options I had on the board, or maybe I had added him later. I can't remember, but well, we can kind of see. Yeah, I think he's not very big, but yeah, a couple other races, maybe getting close to calling it. I mean, we're kind of running unopposed here, so hopefully we can just nudge him over the line. He projects as a pretty good pass blocker also, and he's an athletic blocker. So the tackle situation is looking like we have a good chance. Now, I don't know if I'm going to stay on any of these other defensive ends now that I already got one, but, like this guy, I mean, he does look pretty impressive. Strong, speed, intelligence, intangibles. So I'm not sure how much we're going to sink into continuing to pursue some of these defensive ends, but I'm not sure we're going to just bail on all of them either. I'm probably going to bail on a couple because I had several defensive ends on the board here. Really no motion at quarterback, which is the most important need for me to fill. These are just guys I think could be dual threat quarterbacks. They're not my idea of a starter for the future. These are all my scholarship offers, of course. And then as you go up here, we've got a couple higher end quarterbacks. Now this guy, man, I'm really getting to a bit of an inflection point with him where I don't know if I can continue to spend money when we're not really making any headway. I just need something to pop on one of these quarterbacks. So we've got to continue to spend some money on quarterback, try to get some interest moving. I may just try to spread it out a little more instead of just maximizing spend on one guy, but assume you guys know about that. So that's where we're at. I am now going to take a look at a game plan for Alabama. Going to be a big challenge. We're down a couple players here. We're down one of our guards who starts in run blocking scenarios for us. I'm also down, of course, my best kind of overall player in the front 7, which is going to matter a lot in this game. So we're going to try to find a way to scheme around that and see if we can control Alabama and come out with a win. But I'm going to wrap up my actions for this week and get message AKH to advance, and we'll try to power through a few more weeks here. I want to finish this up today or tomorrow. So, yeah, thanks for following along, and I'll see you in the next video.